Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time since we made a video and you probably noticed we haven't posted anything for a while. We've actually been moving. So I'm recording this at home in my office. Now there is kind of a busy road outside, so I do apologise in advance if there is some traffic noises. We will do our best to get rid of them in the edit. But today's video is going to be about whether a heat pump can cool your home as well as heating it. And the answer is, as always, yes, but it depends. So without further ado, as always, let's jump into it. Right, so to start off with, let's just remind ourselves how a heat pump actually works. It works a little bit like a fridge in reverse. The heat pump uses a refrigerant liquid that boils at a very low temperature to absorb heat from outside the house and distribute it inside the house. A ground source heat pump takes that heat from the ground, and an air source heat pump takes it from the air. So effectively, it's almost like an air conditioning unit, which does the same thing. The heat pump just takes heat from outside and puts it inside, whereas an air conditioning unit takes it inside and puts it outside. Right, so let's deal first with air to water systems, as they are the most common in the UK. So as we know, these systems heat up water, and that water is then used to heat radiators and underfloor heating to heat your home. Now, radiators cannot be reversed. There aren't radiators which can effectively cool your home. So if you just have radiators, you're not going to be able to use your air to water system as a cooling system unless you have a dedicated, separate air-to-air air conditioning unit. But if you have underfloor heating, there may be some options open to you. Although it's quite rare in the UK, there are certain underfloor systems that can be reversed. And the way this works is, instead of pumping hot water through the underfloor pipes, the system in the summer months actually pipes cooled water through the underfloor system. And this acts as a kind of cold diffuser and reduces the temperature in your home. Now, it's not super effective. It's probably only going to be reducing the temperature in your home by about 2 to 4 degrees on average, degrees centigrade that is. And the most important thing with this system is to keep the temperature of your floor above the dew point, which is the condensation point. Now that depends on the humidity of the air, but it's generally around 16 to 18 degrees centigrade, because the last thing you want to happen is to have your underfloor heating cooling and there to be condensation basically forming, pools of water forming on your home, on the floor in your home, which can cause a whole bunch of other issues. But if you're looking for a system which is really just going to take the edge off, this might actually be an option for you. Interestingly, there are a few air to water systems which work like a traditional air to water heat pump in the sense that they just heat your hot water, but you can purchase an additional unit which acts as an air conditioning unit in the summer months. Now these are actually it's a sort of best of both worlds scenario. Samsung do a system like that, and that's available on our website if you want to have a look at our recommendations for the best air source heat pumps of 2025. Now, as we've previously discussed, if you have an air-to-air heat pump, then it's much easier to find a reversible model, or maybe even your model already is reversible, because the components are largely the same, and because you're dealing with heating air as opposed to cooling air, it's much easier for manufacturers to make those systems work. So let's look at the advantages and disadvantages of both of these systems. Now, if we take the underfloor cooling system in the first instance, there are some pros. I mean, effectively it's silent, you're going to have no fan noise, you're going to have a more even temperature distribution because it's going over your whole flooring area. Generally speaking, they use less energy, and you've got one system which is going to heat your hot water, heat your home in the winter, and then cool your home down in the summer. So on that respect, it's very, very efficient and very simple. The cons really come down to the limited cooling capacity. So because you can only get a couple of degrees, it's not going to make your house sort of as chilled as hell when there's a heat wave outside. It's really just taken a couple of degrees off the worst kind of summer excesses, which may be fine for the UK, but if you're in a very hot climate, it may not be enough for you. As I've spoken about already, there is some risk of condensation in your home if you go below the dew point, and it's quite an expensive system to retrofit, so it's more something you would think about if you were doing a renovation or building a new house. Now, if we come to the air-based cooling systems, the kind of pros and cons are really just reversed. So the pros of an air-based cooling system is it's just much more effective than an underfloor system. It's going to be as effective as a dedicated air conditioning system in the best case scenario. You are dealing with hot air, so it's much easier. It's more responsive, and you're going to have no condensation risk. The pros are you are going to need a system for heating your hot water because you're dealing with an air-to-air system. You're going to need something to heat your hot water that you're going to need for baths, showers, etc. And these systems can be noisy. You know, they can. We all know that air conditioning in hotels, it can be quite noisy. Plus the fact that you're going to have an unsightly air conditioning unit, or you're going to have ducting in your homes. So guys, we're going to leave it there today. This is kind of a short and sweet video. We just wanted to give you some idea of whether or not you can use an air source heat pump to cool your home as well as heat it. As always, we've got loads more information on the website, both on this topic, where we dive a lot more into how you can figure out the efficiency of that air conditioning portion of your heat pump, and just more generally on heat pumps and HVAC systems in general. I do encourage you, as always, to check out our website, which is www.WeLoveHeatPumps.com. If you like this video, please do subscribe, please leave us a like or a comment. It really helps us get the word out, and in the meantime, we will see you on the next video.